Good morning, Bulldogs. My name is Tim Hucal, and I am the owner of Hucal Ponderosa Customs. A little background about me. I've been in the United States Marine Corps for a little over 21 years, and here later this year, I'm actually going to retire honorably and faithfully while serving in the United States Marine Corps. And about 5 years ago, I got into this conversation with my wife about ordering a piece of furniture. And when you go through that process with your spouse, you start to understand and realize there's a myriad of things that can happen while doing this, right? We bought a water filtration system called a Berkey. She wanted to stand for it. There's a lot of things on the market. I designed and built one, and to this day we still have it. Out of that stemmed my business, Hucal Ponderosa Customs. Now I want you to think, Bulldogs, for half a second here. How often do you, in your own home, think about changing a room, changing a wall, or, I don't know, purchasing a particular furniture item, or even something similar as to maybe a cutting board or a serving tray like what you have in front of you? And you find yourself going to these specific websites, searching and using the words custom, and how many items actually pop up. And if you look at some of these searches, it's tens of thousands of items that pop up. And now how do you specifically choose what you're looking for in a design or an option, an idea to facilitate what your needs and your wants are? So then you ponder, how do I simplify this process? And you scroll and you scroll and you scroll. So here's the problem that's worth solving. The ordering process to anything custom, whether it's furniture, cutting boards, serving trays, or home decor, it's an impersonal process. You find yourself on the cell phone searching through various websites or a myriad of websites, and you don't find something that's particular to your want or need. Or the main issue is it's mass produced. So if you go to a place like IKEA, those items are boxed, made in a mass manufacturing facility, and sent out to the masses. But what separates your house from somebody else's house? And this is where it really comes into play with Hucal Ponderosa Customs and how I can facilitate that for you. The competing piece to it is just that. And I'll use this as an example. You go to Target and you order a piece of furniture, and in that box are items that require you to put together that piece of furniture. But then there's tools that are associated with it. Well, maybe you don't have the tools, so now you have to call a friend. How do I put this together? And as men, we tend to do the thing of let's not read directions and we don't put it together properly, right? So the aspect to when you go to a store, you buy something that's mass produced or out of a Target or Ashley Furniture where it's an impersonal ordering process. You order out of a catalog, and then you go to your friend's house thinking you have something significant or that is different than everybody else. And you go to your friend's house and you realize, oh gosh, I have the same coffee table. I can't have them to my house because it's not different than what everybody else wants. It's not truly custom. But this is where Hucal Ponderosa Customs comes into play. It's a one-on-one design consultation. What I do is when you ask for a specific item, I sit down with you and we get down to the design process, the phase. The specific intricacies to what your item that you want to have that's going to separate your piece of furniture from anybody else's. Through that process, we talk about types of material, the items or the material to the color, the finish, and ultimately the size and the parameters to which you are wanting. I deliver that piece, and if you remember I said something about putting something together, I don't just give it to you in pieces. I bring it to you, I set it up, upon delivery, make sure that it meets your needs, your wants, and it's significant and specific to what you and where you want it to be in your, in your home. But more importantly, if you remember I said you go to somebody else's house and see the exact same piece of furniture that you once had, it's truly unique. It's a one-off design. It gives you the means and capability to truly design your own home item specific to what you're looking for. And let's talk about the target market. Throughout Onslow County, there are approximately 139,000 folks. And what my goal is to target the, I say, affluent market size element, which propensity is 106 million. I'm looking for anywhere from 0.5% to 1.5% of that market size share, which doesn't seem like a lot, but if you really do the math and the things that are involved with that, it's actually quite significant. Because something's never going to go away in Onslow County, but more importantly, the Eastern Shore, is the fact of you wanting to change the way your house looks on a regular basis because you want to keep up with the trends or you want something that's different than somebody else has or what you can buy in a normal department store. But how am I going to get to those folks? What am I going to do in order to allow that to occur? These marketing and sales tactics. I'm going to utilize social media to my advantage because that's the day and age we live in. But on top of that, I'm going to utilize vendor fairs. Local shops, and additional to furniture stores, give them the option as me as a resource to providing an individual who wants something truly significant or diverse from what they see on the showroom floor. My financial projections, I didn't put dollar figures up here other than what's already on the table. And the reason is this. You see in there that the costs and expenses seem to be quite a bit, but as the manager and owner of my business, a portion of what I choose to have as an expense is my 10%. I'm either going to tithe that 10% to a local charity or church, or I'm going to donate to a nonprofit organization. That is included in my expenses. To include those expenses are also money that's going to be set aside for future tool costs and or needs. Additional to that is a means for me to be able to purchase a property future and build a shop that will allow me to grow exponentially as a furniture designer and developer. But in addition to that, hire somebody within the next 4 years when I hit my max capability of producing items for myself to bring someone in and assisting me in that process. Which the extra money is actually the ability for me to provide resources and means to bringing people in to assist in that process. Hucal Ponderosa Customs, who are we and what do we do? So I'm the manager, owner, designer, and builder. And then my beautiful wife of 19 years is my quality assurance and quality control. I always bring every design to her. I ask her, what do you think of this design? What do you think I should change with this design? And she has been the backbone of how my designs have been so successful over the last 4 years. Partners locally, obviously we have quite a few people that I work with. A lot of the community that I work with in regards to Hucal Ponderosa Customs cannot be displayed up here because there are far too many. But I wanted to specifically point out a few of them. Obviously Marine Federal Credit Union for putting this on. Small Business Center, I'm incredibly grateful for what they've been able to provide. And then also some of the local places that provide local wood. And so as far as keeping it local, I truly do keep it local when it comes to the resources. And at the end of the day, when it comes down to when you want something custom, specific to your house, to your needs, or your ability to changing the environment that you currently live in, there's only one choice, and Hucal Ponderosa Customs is the best choice. I appreciate your time and obviously the opportunity to be in front of you today.
Absolutely. I think you did a great job presenting your concept and your idea. Thank you for your service and your impending retirement. Congratulations on that, certainly. I don't have a lot of questions for you. I do think in looking through your business plan, you really know who your customer is, and I think that'll serve you well as you move forward.
Yes, sir. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yes, I feel the same way. You've answered all the questions. I had a question while you were doing the presentation. You answered it shortly after.
Awesome.
So.
I'm glad I was able to do that for you.
Great presentation, and really like the quality of what we see here in front of us. So I think if that's an example of what you can bring to the market, I think you're on the right track.
Yes,
I've got a couple questions here. I won't question you to death, but you know, wood as a natural resource fluctuates just the cost of that. With we saw after COVID what the price of wood has done. When you went through your financial projections, and that's like having a crystal ball, right?
Yes, sir.
Are those things that we know your prices may have to adjust based off of that, but is there any methodology to trying to look at the cost of those natural resources and trying to price that in as the prices go up and down?
That's actually a very good question, and it is something I've battled with truly because of exactly what you're talking about. Natural disasters directly impact and change the ability to gaining that resource locally, along with not just natural disasters, but we had a pandemic, the things that stopped all movement of the materials. So now you're having to have people in local trucking companies come out. So what I do is a percentage forecast based on historics. So I have saved through the last couple of years data to show the fluctuation, and I do essentially an average, and then I place that inside of the cost in the quote process. Now, as it gets closer to the true ordering, that's when I tell them, okay, this is what the true dollar figure is for this specific type of species or material, and that's the quote that I provide them upon the exact ordering. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
As far as your consultations, that's certainly your time.
Yes, sir.
And I think in this market, most people see that and they go, I want that. You may go, and you may have already experienced it.